Škoda has spent 125 years being very good at motorsport. The Monte Carlo Rally, the WRC. They've built the Fabia R5, which is one of the most successful rally cars ever made. And somewhere in the middle of all this winning, they figured something out. And Škoda decided a long time ago that that same engineering had to live in every car that they make. Which brings us to this, the Octavia RS. 2-liter turbo, 261 horsepower. This is Škoda's performance flagship in India. And it's the car in which all of that motorsport DNA is fully expressed. Here's where things get interesting. Škoda also makes the Kylaq. 9 lakh rupees, Škoda's most accessible car in India. And Škoda claims that the same engineering DNA that goes into this, the RS, is also found in the Kylaq. Now, we could just take Škoda's word for it, read a press release, nod appreciatively, move on. But that's not what we're here to do, is it? So we're going to test it properly on a racetrack. Here's the plan. We take the Octavia RS to CoASTT, India's latest FIA-graded circuit in Coimbatore, and we set a benchmark lap time in it. For the Kylaq, we've brought in a professional racing driver. Their job is simple. Take a standard showroom spec Kylaq and get it as close to Satvik's RS time as possible. From here, I'll let Satvik take you through what happened. As for me, I'm off to enjoy the RS.
Thanks for choosing me to answer this question, Pablo. And that's why we are here at CoASTT today to see if Škoda's baby SUV, the Kylaq, has the same engineering pedigree as the Octavia RS. To see that when things go wrong, how well they handle, how the suspensions have been tuned, how well they're engineered, because this track is not kind towards bad engineering.
The racer we have today is Ojas Surve, a seasoned driver who has won the Polo Cup UAE Championship in 2025, was the second runner-up in Polo Cup India in 2024-25, is the 2023 Karting Super Series champion and Red Bull Kart Fight champion in 2021. Clearly, I have a worthy contender.
I'm going to set a lap time in the Octavia RS and you're going to try and be that in that.
Standard spec, right?
Completely standard spec, fresh off the lot, nothing has been changed for you.
Okay. I mean, I guess the talent will be the differentiation though.
Let's see what the Octi does first.
Sure, let's go.
The RS is immediately obviously capable. It talks to you through the wheel, through the seat. Every input has a precise result. 261 horsepower on a properly developed chassis doesn't just feel fast, it feels organized. This is what the RS badge actually means.
The RS just settles into a corner. You push and it doesn't push back. It leans in. When you brake late into a corner, it compresses, rotates, and does not fight back. It's not asking you to be a racing driver. It's doing a lot of the work itself.
The Octavia RS on a proper circuit is a reminder of what 125 years of motorsport engineering actually produces. The chassis is rigid. The suspension manages body roll movement precisely, absorbing what the road gives it, converting that energy into confidence rather than instability. It's fast because it's sorted. Those things are not the same, but here they arrive together. The Škoda Kylaq. Less than 10 lakh rupees and Škoda's most accessible car in India. Built on the MQB A0 platform with a McPherson strut with a lower link beam and a stabilizer bar and a rear twist beam axle. This is a chassis engineered, according to Škoda, to the same rigidity standards that run through every car they make, including the one that just set our benchmark.
You know, people think setting up a car is easy, but setting up something for comfort and giving you fast response when that emergency happens, like suddenly you have to change lanes because something jumps out on the road, and making sure that even when they're in kacha roads, it's comfy for the people in the back, is the tricky part. So what is the Kylaq telling you, even before you've driven it? So it's very interesting. Of course, you can see it's pretty high up. It's a compact SUV, right? But at the same time, I can see it has big wheels. It has slightly low profile tires. And it has big fat wide tires. And it has pretty big front disc brakes as well. So I think my advantage is surprisingly going to be under braking and the corners, even though the RS has bigger wheels and bigger tires. Let's see what happens on to reciting that. Done.
Man, this steering is actually giving me feedback. It's not just dead weight, you know. Like I can like totally feel the curve resemblance. Yeah, it's not just dead weight. I'm getting a lot of feedback. Man, this chassis is like so nice. It just rotates and I think I'm just gonna make up a lot of time in the corners compared to the Octi because he just flies away on the straight, you know. I think it's going to be close. Feeling like how this car is going through the corners, we will have to see. Right, the way it just rotates and then pulls on, rather than just like going into understeer. I mean, hands off. I did not expect that. Of course, there's quite a bit of body roll, as to be expected from a car like this. But I mean, it just holds on. And you know, what I can say is I'm definitely braking later and carrying most of it through the corner, or as much speed through the corner as the Octi, because this is way lighter, right? But of course, the Octi with its power just flies away on the straights.
The racer isn't driving quickly yet. He's listening to a sub 10 lakh SUV on a circuit built to expose exactly what the car is made of. And that car is apparently saying something worth hearing.
So, what is the car telling you? The chassis is telling me, the car is telling me, the suspension is telling me that everything is confidence inspiring. Nothing about what I want to do is getting in the way. My talent is not being hampered. Everything I want from the car is giving me. So whatever we see on track is just going to be the car. See, all the best for your hot lap. Okay, let's go.
Here's what Škoda's claim actually means, not in a press release, but a circuit that exposes a chassis very quickly. The suspension does what it is built to do. It absorbs the circuit and converts all of it into control. This is what a suspension tuned for both comfort and cornering actually looks like in practice. The chassis doesn't wallow, doesn't lose shape under load. Then there are moments that tell you everything. The unexpected crest, the tightening radius, or the surface changing mid-braking. These are everyday problems, and a car with genuine engineering beneath it doesn't panic in these moments. It gives control back to the driver. The Kylaq on the circuit does exactly that.
Okay, so the times. The Octi, the benchmark, was set at 2 minutes 16 seconds. I think, what do you think you did?
I don't know, man. Of course, it did feel a little slow, but I was thoroughly surprised by the speed I was carrying through the corners. It's just this honest mistakes. You were gapping me, I'm pretty sure. And also, the braking. So I'm not sure, maybe 6 seconds or so.
Okay, so let me just reveal the time to you now. He did it in 2 minutes 19 seconds at... Insane, or are you talking about?
As you said 6 seconds, the time wasn't even 4 seconds. As said 3.5 seconds, 3.5 seconds.
You, with your talent, beat that time, that expectation, and it just goes to show great engineering. What do you think? I mean, dude, 3.5 seconds is what, on a pre-minute like 20 lap is not much at all. And you know, I think it's safe to say that the price difference and the taste difference is nowhere near close at all. And I think that's already possible because these cars share the same DNA, you know. I mean, you can feel it. Of course, 120 years of motorsport heritage has to show somewhere, right? If you're buying a sub 10 lakh car and a 50 lakh car, you're getting the same DNA, and that is just great.
Yeah. So, thanks for having me on. I enjoyed a lot.
Leonardo da Vinci painted the Mona Lisa, He also painted The Last Supper, two completely different works in scale, purpose and context. One hangs in a frame in the Louvre and the other covers an entire wall in Milan. Here's the thing, the hand that made them was the same and the obsession with getting it right was too. You can see it if you look. The Octavia RS and the Kylaq are not the same car. One is a performance flagship, Skoda's engineering DNA at full chat. The other is a sub 10 lakh entry point designed to be the first Skoda that lakhs of Indians will ever drive. Look at what sits underneath both of them though. The suspension philosophy, the chassis rigidity and the belief that the car, regardless of its price, should be sorted. The Kylaq is not trying to be the RS. What it has is more important than the performance numbers. That is the soul. The same engineering obsession, the same rally-bred approach to making a car that can be trusted arrives in the hands of anyone who buys one. A masterpiece in its own right, you could say. Two cars built by the same people with the same engineering philosophy that has been running through Skoda since 1901. One sets the standard and the other proves that standard isn't reserved for just a few. That's not a marketing line, by the way, because it's just standard issue DNA.
The greatest on a track is actually a Škoda on a track.